Good morning and welcome to um, MatchupCenter.com. Just a very quick tutorial on how to look at a game. After speaking to many of the people on the chat boards across the spectrum known as the internet, I see that a lot of people think that we are simply a tout service, whereby you're supposed to come and look at our games. Here's a game today is being played. Detroit against Oakland. You're supposed to come take a look at our games, take a read, pay a subscription because this is available to subscription people. Take a look. Oh, Oakland minus 15, 18, 54% bet. I should bet it. 51%. Well, maybe I won't bet 51%. This is absolutely the wrong way to go about handicapping a game. What we're doing here at MatchupCenter.com is not only giving you our own internal analytics, taking a look and evaluating the games and suggesting that certain indicators mean you should look at a game, but in every game that you wager, you should look at. If you're just going to take someone's advice, this is not where you want to go. This advice at this location on this spot will not lead you to profitable bets. If you're only going to take advice, then we recommend you go to our today's best bets, the NCAA men's basketball. Take a look down. Today's game is the Oakland game, which we're getting ready to go over. We're going to show you why. There's no indicators for totals, so we don't recommend anything there. And we're really not even recommending that. What we're recommending you do is take a better look at it. So let's go and take a better look at the Detroit game right now as we suggest. The best place and the only place I recommend anyone go to is Decision Dashboard. However, if you don't have time, you can get some thumbnail information here, but that's still going to be inadequate to invest your hard-earned money. So we're going to go to the Decision Dashboard. It comes up as an Excel spreadsheet. It is a spreadsheet which has three tabs. One tab is a comparisons, one tab is about the players and the rosters, an injury report, and another tab is the actual schedules and results. What we're going to look at here, first of all, is the 2015 season, 2015-16 season, 2016-17 season, and comparing those two. I'm going straight to this board here because this takes this information and it gives me it gives me some knowledge. Number one, Detroit is scoring 11 points less, or 13.7% decline in scoring. Detroit is giving up 1.6 more per game, which is a decline of 1.9%. So per game, we're looking at a 12.7%, or rounded up to 13 points, not percent, point giveaway, or somewhere around 15% of their points, as opposed to last year. Oakland, on the other hand, they're scoring 8 points less per game, but they're giving up 6.1%. So while there's a 9% decline in scoring, there's an 8% increase in defense at home. We always admire the defensive numbers first. And so look at these two net. We're talking about a net 2.1 points per game that are given away against last year, as opposed to the near 13 points. From this point, we're going to come over and say, well, what's the character of these points? I mean, what kind of teams are they playing? You can score 20 points more against Sisters of Mercy as opposed to Georgia Tech. So what are we looking at? The way we can determine that is by looking at the RPI. The RPI rank and the RPI rating is a rating geared at the teams that you have played, as well as the quality of your schedule and how you have fared against that. So Detroit, and there's 351 teams in the nation, by the way, so Detroit is number 302, obviously very, very, very poor at .408, where Oakland is number 63 at .567, very, very strong. Again, supporting these, everything we've looked at supports our number of the Oakland minus 18.5 at this point. Now we're going to look at the against the spread record. Detroit is 3-4-1 against the spread away, where Oakland is 5-3-0 at home. How did that compare to last year? Looked like their Oakland's home record is about the same, and their away record is about the same. So that's good news because it shows us a consistency that we can look to see them perform again last year as they're doing this year. Overall, this is your totals number. We're not interested in totals, but if we were, we would see that Oakland is really clamping on the defense, which is no surprise at home, and they're having a lot of under games. Also could be a factor of Oakland was a high-scoring team last year, and they did a lot of overs, as you can see here. So maybe the market has yet to correct itself or is starting to correct itself. Okay, so we've looked at these numbers. Now, this is our internal rating, which we at MatchupCenter.com create based on a number of factors from offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency per possession, and there's just a plethora of numbers that go in to come up with these rebounding and offensive ratings. So Detroit is 9.2, so they've got the lead here, and defense, they've also got the lead. But here's something important, 5.8, and you notice it's kind of an amber color. Very, very, very poor rating in defense, which means these guys are going to get the score, should get a score at will against them. Defensively, they should be able to shut them down, and therefore we can start seeing that 18.5 points be justified. Offensive rebounding, about the same. Defensive rebounding, a little better defensive rebounders over here at Detroit, but doesn't surprise me because with this kind of rating, they seem to be on defense quite a bit, or giving up a lot of extra rebounds too. So now we come back over to depth, talent, experience, and rating. We got 7.1. Now, it's interesting because these two numbers are the same. They're close. So that tells me that these guys maybe have a veteran team in the fact that there's more seniors and juniors as opposed to the players here. There may be more sophomores and juniors. Here we're probably looking at more juniors and seniors. And now we go further down. The overall rating is just a combination of all these above, which shows that Oakland's number is up and Detroit's number is down. No surprise. And this final number, again, is the math that we saw before. But now we have confirmed this math with all these numbers at this point. So now we want to go to the players and injury. First thing I look for is injury report. There's nobody injured, so we should be the same. I'll let you go through and look, and you can evaluate players, who the leading scorer is. What does the matchup look like? Who's the tall or the short guy or the guard that's scoring? Where would they bounce up against each other? What do they look like from blocks, steals, turnovers? Give you an idea of who to look at. This will take more time, but quite frankly, we're passing it over because we without any injuries and with the numbers we've already seen, we're feeling pretty confident, and I'm sure we could find something quickly here. Now we're going to go over to that's not right. We're going to go over to the schedule results, and this is very important because it lines up all the teams against what they have done and against what they're doing now. Now we're in the throes of conference play, so I like to look first at the conference. This team is Detroit. They're 4-0 in 0-4 in conference. And if I look down to Oakland is 4-0 in conference. Again, another signal that shows that this is a dominant team in conference. This may be a doormat. Now looking at these games, because when you have conference games, let's go and just highlight those. Sometimes they may have played one team once or twice. Early on, you get lucky if we catch a few. Let's see what happens. So that looks like their conference play. Wright State, they played Wright State. They played Northern Kentucky. They played all four of these games. This is unusual and fortunate, but it's going to help us in further handicapping this game. North Kentucky, Detroit played North Kentucky at home, and Oakland played Kentucky at home. Okay, if they were home and away, you would want to give about a 5-point cushion you would take away 5 points from the home team because you've got typically the home court advantage is anywhere between 4 and 5 points is a good mathematical number to use. All right, here we are, Northern Kentucky. They played them at home. Looks like Oakland won by 11. Northern Kentucky, again, played at their house, and they lost by 11. So that's a 22% delta there, which obviously is well within our 18.5-point range, so continue to support that. Wright State, they played Wright State at home, and Wright State was played at home by Oakland as well. At Oakland, Wright State was beat by, looks like 19, and Wright State here, Detroit was beat by, looks like 13. So that's 19 and 13. That's what, 42-point delta there. So that obviously supports the Oakland play. Illinois-Chicago played away, and Illinois-Chicago here, they played away. So they both played on the Illinois-Chicago's court. Looks like Oakland squeaked away with a 1-point win, and Detroit was beat by 14. So 1-point win versus a 15 points. So that's pretty much a push. About 15 points. It could go either way on that one. Probably if you wanted to, you can lean that one toward Detroit. Valpo, they played Valpo away. Oakland played them away as well. Wow, every single thing lined up. That is truly fortuitous. So it's, Oakland beat Valpo. Of course they're 4-0. Oakland beat Valpo by 12. By 12. Very strong win. Am I doing that right? Is that 12? Yeah, 12 points. Very strong win for for Oakland. And here Valpo away beat Detroit by 7. So 7, 12, 19. So push. So you got 2 pushes, and you've got 2 numbers that really secure it. Another thing you do if you don't have that kind of information is you can take a look at Detroit 408 at home, and we'll go up the scale, and we'll look for 408 to kind of see how they did against a like 408. 348, okay, they beat them by, looks like 10, which is not the exact number we wanted. So that doesn't, confirm a lot. 348. We're looking for 408, 438. Chicago, they beat them by, 28? So that's that confirms a split. And here, and one of the things I want to tell you is as you get further away from game day, game day here is 113. This game was played 2 months earlier. They become they have less of influence because they're so far away and the season just started. They could have injuries, which we saw they didn't, but also, teams get better and some teams don't get better. That's about coaching. All right, so just looking at those numbers, this is kind of a split, I would say, although the conference numbers I rate higher. You can take a look, same thing with Oakland. Oakland away playing a 567, not counting conference, we already looked at that. So we go away looking for 5. Okay, Toledo. Toledo is a game that looks like a 12-point game. So that one we'd lean Detroit. Away at 567, nothing really except way up here. Again, these are 2, very old to make decisions by. So I hope you've understood how we've taken a look at this game. This decision dashboard is where you go. Please don't send us emails saying you don't know what you're doing because your rating is wrong. It's not that our rating is wrong. Our rating is one indicator, which should tell you yes or no. You should go look at this. I'm going to tell you, having used this system, that this rating, when you see a home favorite giving up this many points, receiving a 54% probability, that's not an anomaly, but that's unusual, and therefore that in of itself is credibility. But if you don't go back and do all the work and ensure that you are giving yourself the best possible chance to win, then all you're doing is you're not mitigating the risk that you should. It takes 10 minutes to look at a ball game. I know your money is worth that. Okay, happy hunting. Have a great day, and good luck out there on the boards.